Sounds sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, we'll turn that off so we can talk. So what this video is going to be about is my cold air intake, okay? I routed my pipe into the fender cavity, or the inner lining, the fender well and the inner fender. There's a cavity in there. So this talks about this. The first part of the section of the video is going to be talking about how I lined the fender cavity with some heat shield. Then it's going to talk about the making of the pipe. But there is a part that I did miss, that I lost the videos, is making the plate that will cover, that the pipe will go through to go into the fender. So there's a cover plate that I made, and you'll see that in the second half of the second portion of the video of when we're talking about the pipe. So we can go ahead and get into that and discuss just how I did it. You can do this with the non-Hemi swap. You just have a different pipe route. Okay, so you can do it with any of the Hemi, any of the non-Hemi or the regular OEM pipes. You can just run them straight into there. The only thing that's gonna be different is just the pipe, right? But the whole concept should be the same. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to line the fender cavity here where the filter is going to go during the summertime, because the way the fender is flat like this, the sun hits this and man, it gets really, really hot in here. So I'm going to use this heat shield product I got from Summit Racing. It really doesn't have like a name, but that's the part number for this roll. It was only 85 bucks.
Wow.
So, but anyway, so the goal is for this is I'm gonna clean in here, and then I'm gonna get this to stick, and then I'll explain how the adhesive works on there. It's a little, I don't know if it's just a little weird, but yeah. So, and then also I'm gonna drill a small hole here and here and then here, so that we get more fresh air inside the cavity. So I'm gonna cover the top part up here, the side wall of the fender and the inside, and the floor, I think, and then the plate that's gonna go here. I'll cover the back of that and try to cover this. I don't know, it's gonna take some manipulating. We'll see if I can get it to do it. The floor looked a little confusing, the bottom. Fun. Okay, so I put some holes in here for the air. I used, let's see, a 1 1¼ 32 millimeter. I put 3 in the front, and I know the headlight sits here, but it still gives it some ventilation from the outside air here. And then, as you can see, underneath here, here, and here, to get more air underneath. And see, bring it around this side. So, yep. Now I'm going to use this. I'm going to deburr it, and then I'll just spray a little bit of primer, some paint on it so it doesn't rust. Okay, so what my idea is, I already started peeling it, but is creating an outside pattern of the fender so that I can stick that heat shield inside the fender on this wall in here, that wall up there. So that's what I'm gonna do for the sidewall, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the pattern up to this point where I got it marked for the top. And that's kind of the plan. And yeah, so hopefully I can fit it in there. Okay, so that template I carved out on the tape onto the board. That's it. I stuck it in there, made my trims, and it fits pretty okay. You know, doesn't quite get perfect down there, but that's all right. I'm going to cover the main surface area is going to get hot, which is going to be the side here and the top. That's it, here and here. That's all that matters, because that's where the sun, just the way these fenders are, that's where the sun is going to hit. So now that I got that template, now I'm going to go and make the top one and see how I can fit them all together. All right, guys. So now that I got the top side here, I don't know if you can see it, right? So I got the top side fit in. There's the seam right there. So there you go, and I'll just adjust it to where the seam is seamless and, well, a little bit better seam. But I can already tell my hand inside here is already a lot cooler just with the cardboard, you know. But and then you can kind of see it through here. It goes back inside there. You can even see it up in there, I think, how it goes up inside here. I just, because when I trimmed, because I taped from here to like this. I taped that. I transferred that onto cardboard, so it gave me a good cut. I'm happy with that. So now I got to just transfer that onto the heat shield stuff, which is this stuff here that I'm making templates for the hood. This heat shield stuff has like fiberglass backing. All right, guys, so this is the top part, heat shield, that goes inside the cold air intake inside the fender, right? It's this top roof part that goes inside here. So what I'm deciding to do is that, see, this backing here it is sticky itself, but it doesn't come off very good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a razor blade and I'm just gonna cut an edge off, or maybe just enough of a strip to fit this double-sided tape. Like maybe I'll like cut a strip off here, take the fiberglass off, stick the strip there, like in the major areas, like maybe this corner, you know, this corner, and a strip in the middle, something like that, and then just stick it in there, and just do it like that, so that it'll stick. It doesn't have to be like permanent welded in, but you know, because it's gonna go like this, right, up underneath. It's gonna go like that. So I'll do like this corner, and maybe this whole strip here, and then like a centerpiece, you know, something in the center. But that's it, and then just leave the fiberglass the rest of the way, and it should do its job. But yeah, this sticky, see if you can see, the fiberglass comes up with it. You have to really be perfect with taking each one of these off to expose the sticky part. And even at that, if it's coming off easy just with this backing and it's not staying stuck to the fiberglass, I mean, it's gonna probably gonna end up coming off the fender anyway. So rather use some double-sided tape, some good stuff, and then there you go. Well, I'm gonna do that, and I'll get back with you, and I'll cut some sections out, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so see, I cut some slots out, put this in. The only thing is that the fiberglass is a little thicker than what the tape is. Could have probably used a thicker one, but I feel like if I can push it up in there, I can. It's acetone. I clean the surface on here, and then I use acetone. I clean the surface in the fender a couple times, and so I'm gonna go try to stick this in and see if I can maneuver it in there without getting this stuck. All right, so the top piece is in. It seems firm where it needs to be, where the tape is. So got some air gaps, which is fine to have air behind here anyway, a little bit, because it actually kind of helps cool off, keep the cool temperature here anyway. But so I'm about to do this piece here. Got the then I got to do this piece, and there's a little corner here. So I'm gonna do all that, and then I'll get back with you guys, because I already have this one here. I just gotta put the sticky tape on. Okay, on this video here in the cover plate, I did lose the videos on this. So all I did is I just took some steel and I cut out a square pattern that shapes there, and I just kind of formed it around it through all the curvatures. The holes that I put in there, I did use the existing studs that were there and the bolts to bolt it in. And the other holes I drilled, and I used a riv nut and some nuts in there, and some bolts in there. And that's how I did that. And then you'll see how I cut the hole in the next video. All right, so got them all in. So down here, I'm not worried about it because I put all these holes for the air flow. I'm not going to cover the fender part there because it'll have a plastic lining on the other side of the fender. I don't anticipate too much heat coming from there, but I just did the roof and the side walls because how these fenders are shaped, right? I told you. Like even now, I mean, it's winter time and it's probably only like 50 degrees out. But if I put that, see about right there is when it starts to hurt. So, because in New Mexico, the sun is different. I mean, it's kind of like a little magnifying glass. So, and if you come in here, you know, of course it's not going to be cold, but it definitely will be a lot cooler. So, but that's done. The little project's done. And I will be doing the same, not to this hood because this isn't it, but my other hood. I'll be doing the exact same thing when I start putting all the heat shields in the squares. When I get to that on the new hood. Okay, start list today. What I need to do getting started. So I need to finish up the intake pipe, the air temp sense. So this is the pipe. I lost a lot of videos in the beginning when I designed a lot of this stuff. So I don't know if I still have this video, but if not, we're using this pipe and we are putting it into the fender well, okay? And so what we can do is go over here and I'll show you. So this is it like that, right? There's a big glare in the sun, so that's it. I think I gotta put my canopy up. Okay, and then with that, I have a plate I made here, which it's gonna bolt like that, right? And then I'm gonna cut the circle out of here. Okay, I know it's not pretty, but a lot of this is gonna get cut out anyway, and you're not even gonna see that part. So what I gotta do is figure out the distance that I need to cut out on this. So I'm gonna set this up, and then I'll take my measuring tape. I'll put the pipe exactly where I want it to sit, and then I'll take the tape and I'll measure it. Okay, where does the top of the pipe go from there? And then where does the top of the pipe and the side of the pipe measure there? And I'll mark it. And then I'll measure 2 inches in from there, and that's be the center. And then when I get the center, then I can go ahead and cut it out. I got a 4 1/4 inch hole cutter with a grommet. You can fit the tube in. And I'm thinking I can put the air temp sense in here If not, I can just drill it out on this side here, the little rubber grommet, and stick it in. That I don't know yet, but I'm gonna go to mock this back up so I can cut the hole. All right, so as you can see in there, there's the filter and the pipe set up here. I don't know if you can see because of that reflection, but see it's right there. It's kind of sitting in there. Probably maybe can sit a little higher. So I'll figure out where the spot is. And if you look through here, see there's not very much room to have a bigger filter. It's just a pretty small filter. And then also too is fitting it, as if you see, fitting it between the two cutouts right there, you know, it's pretty much the max. And then if you go over here and kind of look at what the original hole would have looked like, that's it. I had to trim it out a little bit to get that filter in there. So now I'm just going to get the height adjusted. So just want to show you that. That's how it's going to fit. Got all these holes. Got all these holes cut out for flow, air, and then it also, if you see passages, it also gets air through there. All right, so I have my measurements. So now I taped off the plate so we can draw on it. So now I also marked kind of where I did it from. So see, from the top we got 3 3/4 inches. Six, well, let's do this one here. Let's go 1/6 and 1/8. 1/6 and 1/8. Then we got from the top 3 3/4. Yeah, 3 3/4. And then I did mark where this one was going to be, but kind of lost my mark. Let's just go here, 3 inches. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line down, straight line across, and straight line down, and that'll give me the square I need to work with. And then from there I'll do then I'll go 2 inches from this side, 2 inches from that side, 2 inches from that side, find the center, and then drill it out. That is the plan. Hopefully I configured this the right way. All right, I'm going to take this off and then we'll go back to the bench. Okay, so we'll use as long as I can get it straight. Let's get this line straight. Line straight, and then this is the square that we are going to work within those parameters. So it seems like did I make a mistake? Seems like this is too low. Let's see. The hole from the center is going to be 4 inches. So this is about the center, right? It's right above that hole. Let's see. It's 3 3/4 from the top, right? And from that edge, it's 3 inches. The height is what has me kind of boggled here. Seems like it's too low. Too low because how it's curved. I think the line inside is 1 inch. The line probably goes to about right at the end of this tape in there, and I'll show you guys. And see, that's what, 3 1/2. So I'll show you what I mean. So from the top of that rivet, right, it's about 1 inch to about here. Let's see. It's about about 3/4 of an inch. And let's see over here. 4 inches from there. Talking about actually ends kind of perfect, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up another 1/4 inch, because I'll get you guys back on there, because if I do that, that'll be exactly on top of the lip. So if I go up 1/4 inch, you know, then what I'll do, then I'll be, it's a little bit off that lip. So I'm gonna make that line a little 1/4 inch up. I get 3 3/4. Let's go 3 1/2. I have wiggle room, you know. I can put it a little higher if I want. And, you know, and I can go from there. And then so I won't use that at all. All right. So then that means from the top, let's see what the top, 7 5/8. So 7 5/8 from the top is where that other bottom is. So we're talking somewhere about right here. Put a little mark on it and see. Five-eighths, and then it's right at 4 inches, right? So this represents the bottom of the opening, and that's right at 4 inches. Or it's a little less than 4 inches, so I think we'll be okay. It gives us like 1/8 of an inch. So I think we'll be okay as long as it's that the pipe isn't sitting on the edge of the opening. That's what I care about. Well, but then we have our grommet that has to sit in there. So I didn't make room for that, because if the grommet sits right there, like we cut it, it's going to be hitting that edge. So when we go to push it in, so let me threw in another. Right now it's at half. Let's go another quarter. Let's go 3 1/4. Let's go 3 1/4. I think that'll give us enough room to use the grommet and have the grommet be able to sit, because what I'm doing is I'm cutting a hole, 4 1/4 hole, right? Then I stick a rubber grommet in there, and then I stick the pipe through the rubber grommet, and it keeps everything airtight. So I'm going to have this all sealed off from the engine bay so it doesn't suck any air at all from the engine bay. So it gets it all from the fender well. And in other videos you'll see that I put heat shielding around the fender wall, and at the bottom I drilled out, circles like that big around. Okay. All right, so now let's measure into 2 inches to find the center. So that would seem like the center right there. All right, so here's this big cutter. It's 4 1/2. So let me see. See, some of the things I just forget. So if we go 4 1/2, that's going to be just a little bit past. So what I'm going to do is move up another 1/4 inch to give the grommet space. So what I'll do, just move up another 1/4 inch, and then I'll mark right here. So that is the mark now, not this. Okay, there we go. That'll give room for the grommet, because this, remember, this is where the edge of the opening is in the firewall, and then the grommet's pretty thick, so I want to give the grommet enough room to sit so it doesn't get pinched. Something happened. Oh, it traveled off center. Let me make a smaller hole first. Okay, so let's go now. All right, pulling out the cord one. All right, now we got the torquey one. So this one is gonna be just don't like using this one all the time because it's pretty vicious. Oh shoot, my little plug thing turned off. There we go. See what I'm talking about? This thing can stick quick. End up in the trash can. That's why this one, so I can throw you around. Whoops. That just set the wrong way. Okay, so why did I choose a 4.5? Well, because this is the grommet I got from E-Trailers. I think it was E-Trailers, yeah. So I just measured what the diameter of that is, and that was 4.5. So, well, now what I do now is I just set this in there. As you see, it'll set in there. But let me clean the edges off and then take the tape off, and then now let's see if this works. Gotta get the tape off my fingers. Alright, so there we go. And it'll set inside there. It might be a little too big, so maybe going with the 4.25 might have done better, because it did eat away a little bit more than what that outside thickness is. It's not like the perfect seal. Should have went with something a little smaller, but whatever. So, and as you see, this pipe, well, now that I could take the tape off, this pipe will fit in there, and then the filter will go on the back side, right? So, and I mean, this isn't going to move around or anything. But let me go get this set up inside the car, and then we'll check it out how it looks. Well, hopefully you guys can see. Let me see. Yeah, I think you guys can. So here we go. I'm gonna stick it in the hole. So I can slide this back as far as I need to get it angled in there. I haven't put it all on yet with the grommet and everything yet, so there might be some installation tactics that I need to do. So now I can just slide that. Well, so it's gonna hit like right there. So I need to get I have to figure out how to take this thing on and off. I'm gonna take this off from here. So I think what I'm gonna do, instead of having the boot on first, I think I'm gonna take the boot off and just install the pipe, and then maneuver the boot into this pipe. There we go. It was a struggle, man, you know, because the pipe comes down at an angle this way and this way a little bit. So trying to, so you can see how it's kind of, see, open there but close there. It just comes at a weird angle, so it's not a straight hole. Because, you know, also the fender curves back this way, curves backwards too, so there is an angle on the fender lining too. But you can make it work, you know. It's gonna be okay. It's just, it's gonna be really rough getting down and out. Now again, you don't have to make a cover plate like that. I guess you can just stick it in the fender and then just have some way to support this so it's not just flopping around. I was trying to go with a plate, but I'm gonna stick with it and put put in my sealing, my kind of grommet back, a stripping back there to cover. I might not even need to, just because, I mean, I don't think I'll need to do that. I'm just gonna tighten everything down and close that up, and hopefully I don't get any rattle from here, like this hitting, you know, but this hitting or anything like that. But it seems pretty sturdy, so, you know, it fits okay on here, whoops, you know, got that there. Maybe, oh dang it, I don't have my clamps on, so, but, you know, it's going to be a force fit, so hopefully when I tighten it down, it contours it and bends it a little bit better. So yeah, that's that here. Yeah, this shine, it keeps messing up the light, so sorry guys. Here, at least it'll get a cold air. So we got it through here, sits in there, and then the filter, you know, comes up through here. I mean, there's the air going past through there, and it's not hitting the back. See, I don't know if you can see that heat barrier there, but final fitment, that's it. And all I got to do is just screw it on. But for test start, I'm not gonna tighten that up yet. I'm just gonna kind of figure out what I'm gonna do with my air temp sensor, and then go from there. All right, so I gotta do the air temp sense, so everything is kind of pushed in place. I'm probably gonna put it somewhere right here. Well, the stock one's about 4 inches away from the throttle body, but that's right there, and I'm not gonna be able to put something in there, so I'm probably gonna stick it like right there. I could even probably cut this back and do it closer. I don't know, maybe think about that, because the pipe end's about right here. No, I'm gonna leave that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mark it over here as close as I can. Let's see, right there, as close as I can, and there we go. Let's see if we can get a good light here. Yep, there we go. It's in there. There, now you can see it. So that'll fit the air temp sensor in there. All right, so it's just one of these grommets like this that have a slot in it. See, like that. So the 5/8 one is what I used, and that's it. And I'll get the new one out when I go put the intake in. I'll get the new one out and test it. It's right here. So let's test that real quick. I couldn't find it earlier. Actually, this is the old one. I mean, I was gonna just test it fit, but you know, I was thinking, it's like, damn, what if I can't get it out? And I gotta ruin that grommet. So I'm gonna be able to test this one. I have to cut this one off too. So anyway, pretty sure it'll fit, because you see the grommet, it's on there, right on this one right now. All right, guys, so here's the conclusion. All right, so as you can see, I had some things different. Let's go ahead and start with what I did different. I mean, what I did change. Okay, so as you can see, the coolant pipe comes here and it goes right underneath here. Okay, and that's the outlet of the thermostat. As you can see down there, that thermostat right there, housing is there. And here is the intake air temp. Okay, I just have it covered so it doesn't get hot. So, and then I also put in, as you can see how it's here, I put the heat shield, which is this. stuff there, I put that underneath in between the coolant pipe and this. Because when I was driving and it got up to temp, it wasn't really cooling the air as I felt like it should. It cooled it a little bit, but not like I felt like it should. Okay, so as soon as I did this, it changed. It helped out quite a bit more as far as cooling the air. Especially when I started driving, the temperatures were only like 5 or 10 degrees of the temperature outside. So it was higher than the 5 or 10 degrees of temperature outside. So it worked real well. Like it did work good. Okay. And then, so it did exactly what it was supposed to do. The one thing that what I don't like is how I'm going to maintenance it and how small the filter is inside the fender well there. So what I would change would, with this plate, I've seen some other YouTubers do it, weld in a square plate, put in a square filter, and then put a cover over that. And then make like a little outlet, and then use the silicone couplers and just silicone that to that. And then so you just pull that off and there's the square filter, you change it, and then you'll give more surface area too. That'd be the only thing that I change. But I mean, it's running great. I have not got a big enough clamp because the other clamp did not fit with all this extra girth. So it wasn't gonna work. So I just haven't found one big enough in town. I mean, this is holding pretty good anyway. I mean, it's temporary, but it runs good. Happy with it. It does cool the temperature quite a bit. So especially when I start driving. Now when I park, temperatures rise, of course. You drive, does good. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. And I got a lot more content coming up. All the little pieces I did on this vehicle, from the whole engine bay to the firewall to the hood to the actual rebuild of the engine, and then what I did to the engine performance wise. You know, there's tons of videos, braking system, wiring, you know, the radiator, the cooling system, all that stuff. It's coming up, or it might be already be out by the time you're watching this, but AC lines, all that stuff. All right, guys. Peace.